one cheek, and it'll look like your mouth is full, but it's really only one cheek.
You can't put stuff in one and the other one is like it's blow both sides.
Really, exactly. But then is the liquid is a one, but not non malay lugma. Not his full mouth, but half the mouth. But it looks like the whole mouth is full. Meisvi, we learned the Brais Kamish to be high, Shamam Revius, Bisalam malay lugma. Udem Shamar Balaza, Kimalay lugma. Yehuda Ben, Beseder, Mekate Gemia. It's four different shurim. Miadifi. So the Gemara Mima Disim Masnisin, the Kimne Kadei Shiro Chaname. When we say Malay Lugu, Shiro Malay Lugu. So Gemara, I'm sorry. And the Braisa can't say that. Yoch behind the Rebalaza. So the Basil and Rebalaza said exactly the thing. Basil said Malay Lugma. And Rebalaza said Kim Malay Lugu. You're telling me Malay Lugma, Kim Malay Lugma is exactly the same thing? Come on. It can't be that Rebalaza and Basil said exactly the same thing. So the Gemara, no, there's a slight difference. Malay Lugma of Doch. That if Rashi says the second line and the big lines, but basically it's the Lebelezer says it's a bigger amount. You have to squeeze your cheek like mamish. That's the amount. You don't have to squeeze it. It's a little bit of a smaller, but it's basically the same thing. Why doesn't the Rashi says in Cain it's less than a vias? And then they said so Bishamai over here is Makel. Bishamai says well, it's more, but more here is less. Right. Bishamai said that if you drank a mashal less than a vias, so you were not over on Shtia and Yom Kippur. And Basil says no, if you drank more than Malay Lugma, you're already over the Issakoris of Chilu V'Shti and Yom Kippur. So L'chayda Beis Shammai is Makel. They say Nishkafelach if he drank a Malay Lugmav as long as it's less than a Deviz. Abazoy listening to Mesachas Eides Gabi Kula B'Shamash Kula Shnei Sham. Zog the Gemara. The Eides the Gemara gives a list of all the things where Beis Shammai Beis Hillel was opposite. Where Kula B'Shamai Chumrei Beis Hillel. So this seems to be a chumra b'sel and a kol b'shamay.
Why you don't count it?
So why doesn't the Gemara count it? Masechet Seidis. So the Gemara says, Amarlei, no. He ishtel. When the question was asked in the Beis Medrash about kama ishtel v'yechayev, boig melech haboshin ishtel. The question was about oig melech haboshin. So legabe oig melech haboshin is havalei b'shamay chumra. Because oig melech haboshin is a huge cheek. So he's saying so the Basil says Malay Lugma.
What daf is that, by the way?
We're in daf pay Ahmed Beis the top line. Pay Ahmed Beis the top line. So because we're talking about Egmal Chaboshan, so his Malay Lugma is huge. So Beishamai said Revis, he's right away over. And Basil says, no. Agmal Chaboshan cheek is 60 a gallon of liquid. If he drank less than a gallon of liquid, he was not over on Shtia b'Yom Kippurim. So Faket, Bisham is the Mach. Maskef let him say them. Ma'ishna Achila, the Kol Chad V'Chad K'Sevis. How come? When it comes to achila, every human being is the same shear. It's k'sevis, a date. Every person we measured his cheek. Emes Taka will learn soon in Shulchan Aruch that we say that most people, by them, full cheek is Reiv Revius or whatever. But still, the Metzias is that you measure every person by himself.
Right. Some person his Revius, the other one.
Some Rabbonim say that Lagabi Achoyla that needs to eat less than the shear, that Achoyla should put before Yom Kippur should put a full cheek, spit it out. I don't go with that.
We said the L'chaim cup.
Do I know
and finish.
Right. So
this is the Lekula Alma.
Right.
You're not the.
But I'm saying some Rabbonim do because that's the din taka. But it's a little funny whatever you start measuring. Well, Rabbonim that's taka the din. Every person depends on him. So some say you should measure with the Achoyla out of Yom Tov, because maybe Taka is a big fat cheek, if he's a big mouth, and it's a big fat cheek. So
His melodma is
look, maybe is half a cup or machaya.
so you can take
So he could drink a little less than a half a cup and a machaya, and then they still drank less than the sheep.
Person accidentally put a little bit more, put went to within past the shear. He just what's he do? He
I
just
don't
regretted
know.
the whole
I don't know. I don't. Let's learn some of the Gemara is telling us. So the Shaila, but Abzedi said, I don't understand. What Maishna Achilu the Kol Chad V'Chad B'Keseves. Every human being is the same shear, which is a Keseves a day. To Maishna Achilu the Kol Chad V'Chad B'Day, you measure his cheek. I'm like, bye, Kimlo Larabonam. The Rabbonim understood, they knew that B'Keseves, that when it comes to the shear of Achilu with the Keseves, B'Hochem Yas V'Daiti, that's Miyashiv, the das of a person. Torah says it has to be Una, he has to be Ma'ana himself. And if he eats a keseves, there's no inui. It calms him down. Less, it's not miyas v'daite. B'shtia, it's not that way. B'dido miyas v'daite. B'dachaver lo miyas v'daite. The shtia, they knew that every person, it's his own shear.
and the proof is by mashkia. Some people need 5 cups and some people want
Exactly. Exactly. Masik lo b'zayde, v'chol adam kuloi, b'keseves, v'eg malach ha'ba'oshon. Big Kesevis. How could it be that the whole world is a Kesevis and the Igmal Chabashim is also Kesevis? I'm yes, Kimul Rabbanon. Rabbanon understood. The Bahochim Asvedaite, Botsum Mahochi, Loy Masvedaite. That they said that's the shear. Miu, Kul Alma, Vigmal Chabashon is a Zoid. Kul Alma Tuva. The whole world, which are their bodies are less than Igmal Chabashon, it's Meyashiv Das a lot. It's miyashiv das a little, but less. It's not miyashiv das by anybody. Maskeflo Reb Zeda again asked the question. Also, Shomam bekeseves, or the lobby gifonim bekeseves. How could you tell me? Big fat meat, azoy. You eat one keseves of a piece of meat, it's like you're hungry, and you eat. When you're hungry, it doesn't help to eat a vegetable. You know what I mean? If you didn't eat a whole day, and then you eat a shtickle pepper, fruits, it helps.
It makes you hungry.
Exactly. But if you eat like a nice piece of meat or chicken, a piece of fish, it calms down.
A little bit funny.
Well, it's things that grow on I don't know, the edible things that grow on the Geffen tree that are not mamish grapes, that are things that are soft things that grow on the Geffen, like leaves. Some people eat it. Like Svardim make. Like we make stuffed cabbage with the cabbage. They make,
there's a certain food that they make like it with, leaves.
Yeah. It's edibles. It's
Right.
the little mashu. It doesn't fill your stomach so much. Yeah. You want to learn Gemara with us?
It's my level or
It's your level, 100% your
I have to
level.
go to third grade.
No. Here, daf pay. We're holding daf pay here. Wait, we're holding. You see big letters. Everyone can understand. It's Oasis Senayim.
Hope it's English.
Oh, don't worry.
Russian.
We just need Russian. Here. Amar Labai, Kim Lar Mona Machman Zayze. Mio Basa Shaman here. So he asked the question, I don't understand. You're telling me that in your like Yom Kippur, whatever the person eats is always the sheared is on Yom Kippur is a keseves, which is a big of a date. If a person's hungry and they eat lulovik fonim, like these things from the vine, which is like a vegetable, it's nothing. If you eat a piece of fish or a piece of fat meat, that calms down your hunger. So how can you tell me that the shear is the same thing? How can you tell me it's the same? It's not fair. I said, it's true. The Rabbanim understood. This is what calms down the mind of the person. Less, it doesn't calm down the mind of the person. If you eat fat meat, good fatty meat, that's miyashiv das a lot. These vegetables that are from the gefanim, which is like garbage when you're hungry, it's not going to fill you, but still, porta calms you down a little bit.
You could eat the same half a pound, but if you eat a pound of meat or half a pound of vegetable, for some reason in the brain, the half a pound of vegetable doesn't make you full.
Right, but full not.
It's the same,
right? The same thing, but doesn't help.
The weight is the same, but here you're severe and here's not.
Here's severe now. It makes a difference. Lagabi miyashiv zayin the das. Chacham said it's the same.
It's already good.
Maskele rove kazayis b'techilas pras. Kisevs b'techilas pras. How can you tell me that there's a sheer Chachamim said always is kazayis b'techilas pras, and Kisevs you tell me it's also b'techilas pras? How can it be the same thing? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm like Abaye kim lo rabbanon b'achim yas v'daite. Pe'machilom yas v'daite. Again, Rovis, I don't understand. If a kazai is a chilas pras, so I mean, we're choshes the chilas pras. Chilas pras we spoke in the summer. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes. That's how many shittas there are, right?
He's a chilas pras.
What's a chilas pras? Well, Lama's dogging that chilas pras is 10 minutes. Lama's dogging is 10 minutes. A kazai is half the size of kesevis. Kesevis is an olive, kesevis is a date. The date is double the size. So you're telling me that everything in the Torah, the shir achil is a kesevis, and what is it? And you have to eat it within 10 minutes. So double should be within 20 minutes.
Easy.
It's easy, yeah. But you're saying now, Lagabi Yom Kippur, what's shir achila? Kesevis, a date. So for a zayis, which is this big, you gave me 10 minutes. So for this, give me 20 minutes. At least. No, it doesn't work that way. Why? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go back. How could it be the same thing? Same achilas pras. Chum said no. If you eat it within the 10 minutes, that's miyashav das, or 9 minutes, 8 minutes. That's otherwise you don't get the yishuv das. We learn a person so like gvir when he eats toma food, he has to eat a half a pras. And it has to be with the chilas pras. It's weird. Why should the shear be the same? Here it's kedei chilas pras. It's the same 10 minutes. But chatzi pras is huge compared. Chatzi pras is so big. I'm like, Papa, hanach l'tum is gvid love the Rabboni.
They love the rice.
They love the rice, which is not the rice, it's the Rabboni. Me amar Papa, yach, Papa said it says v'loinit tamam tzveisim, but says that you're not allowed to eat tamadic food. That if you eat it, you become tummy. Loit tamam, don't eat it. When it meisim, but if you eat it, you become tummy. Amar Papa, mekash tum is gvid the rice. So you want to know it's not true. It's not true. The Papa is wrong. Really, it's the Rabbana. The Torah smach the Balma. The Torah is only a smach the Balma. If you look at the Rashi, you look at the Tamo, Gabechiluk Siv Alta Shaksas Nafsation. That Adaina Chila. You're not allowed to eat these Talmudic things. Sheretz, for example, these things that the Shmoina Shrotzim, you're not allowed to eat it. Veloit Tamu Bam. It's in the middle of the page. Not in the middle. Veloit Tamu Bam. Gabechiluk Siv Alta Shaksas Nafsation. And Achila. Veloit Tamu Bam. Loizu Yazora Tuma. Shirei ein Yisrael Mazorim Maletama Diksiv Amar Lakoinim. Koinim Mazorim not to become Tam Yisrael Mazorim. Ella Hazoras Achilosim. When it says Veloit Tama, it doesn't mean you shouldn't become tummy. What do you mean? You're like Yid is allowed to become tummy. Veloit Tama means you're not allowed to eat it. You're not allowed to eat the sheretz. When it's Mason Bum, if you eat the sheretz, you become tummy. Mashmash Lechilosim Tetamu. So the Gemara says Mekanda Kumazvia De Eichlin Tmein De Reisa. So you want to know the Papa said that way. It's not true. It's with the Rabbana. The Kroh love the Tumas. Shein lechadove metama adam ayidei achila elo nevelis of tog. Kroh smach the Malma v'ika Kroh. The Shinu epedek amal mamamune and daflut elamates adam metama atzme maat melamata metama is arbe malamayla. The Gemara said it's a drash really that if a person's mekadesh atzme maat melamata kachin is a harbe malamayla. So it's just a leila. This whole idea. So this. It's Leila that's even that's brought in the Zohar. But Nigla the Torah, there's this thing that we learn it from the Pasuk that if a person's metama himself lamata, the metama malamayla, if he's mekadosh himself lamata, the mekadosh malamayla. So elamai the rabbonon. So the Pasuk cannot mean two things, and that's what the Gemara has decided that's the real pshat in the Pasuk. Elamai, we learned smach the balma to say that if you eat, you become tummy. That's true. That if you swallow oichlin tmeim and the amount of a chatzi or pras, a half a loaf, then you become tummy. It's really menatoira. There's no such thing. It's a nivlas oif. Oh, it's a special thing. He swallowed a oif. But otherwise, menatoira If you swallow, it's blue, tuma blue, it's nothing. Once you swallow something, there's no tuma. Tuma is only when you touch it. But if you swallow the tuma, it's zero. The Rabbanan decided to make it. So therefore, they decided they don't want to be machmir that much. They wanted to. They said you have to eat mamish a half a pras, birde achilas pras. Yeah, we're now learning to Masmeis. Yes. Okay. I just want to say something very important. In this Gemara. We see that the Gemara says that basically that this is a very important thing. Lagabe Yom Kippur, that there is Yishuv Adas. Third it says, Lo Tu'una, you have to ma'ani yourself. And the opposite of Inu is Miyashim Das. So the Gemara says, Oig Mal Chabashan, and it's the same thing. So yeah, that Oig Mal Chabashan, a little child, is the same thing. So a little child is going to eat Akiseves, it'll calm him down more. And Oig Mal Chabashan less, but they're both going to be Miyasvach. Chassidus loves this Gemara. This is brought like the union of Etzem Achayis. Like that Etzem Achayis, the Etzem Neshama, is a Loshen Chassidus, one of my morim, the Neshama of a little child, be Machaya Oig Mal Chabashan, just like it could be Machaya a child. Right. That it's the same thing. The Rebbe says that we find Lagabe the Mon, that the Mon is called Oimer Lagvogoylas. At the end, when they came into Eretz Yisrael, the Torah says, as Amon Ochlu, Arbaim Shama, Adbam V'Hamon Isoifohu. That it's a Sidus Eifa. It's the last line. As she says, Sidus Eifa means 43 Beitzim and a fifth of a Beitz. So the Rebbe says that Namon had 2 dargas in Namon. B'chlal, the Rebbe says, V'chodes Hapela. The Chazal say a whole bunch of things, the miracles like Namon. Tasted like anything he wanted. The Torah says, Amar bevamamit, if the person took extra mon, it's wrong. The person took too less, puffed up. The Torah tells us Nisim in the mon. The Gemara tells us Nisim. Wait a minute, what do you think for a second that this is an unbelievable miracle? Everyone ate the exact amount.
Impossible.
A Bobby, a Zaidi, a little boy 5 years old, a little girl 3 years old, a Tati, a Mami, everyone ate the same thing. We discussed it many times when we're learning in the summer. Shir Challah is huge. They ate in a day Shir Challah.
Shir Challah, 5 pounds, like 4 pounds.
Even for Lubavitch, which is going to Bavram Chaim Noah, which is if they're ready a little under 4 by 4 pounds, they're already making a bracha, right. and a little over 3.
No.
So even in the Lubavitch Shir, never mind the Welt 40 nicht, a bigger Shir. So even for Lubavitch, so think it's a 5 hackers flour, 5 pounds. Your wife makes a mol challah. The average challah recipe is 5 pounds. Why? Because the bag is 5 pounds. So that's why they based if one day hackers is going to change the thing.
Once brought was 6 pounds. It messed up my life.
Right. So what's
didn't realize.
So they happen to be exactly the same thing. I once brought right. There is whatever. There's sometimes my wife a different cheshbon, but she likes it. I bring a certain type of flour, and it's 5 pounds. There's a certain brand, if the store doesn't have it, I'll go to a different store. But that brand, once they decided to make it 6. So everything went. Anyway, think about it. So you bring
that the 8 pound they didn't go to the bath.
Mm-hmm.
And a baby 5 pounds, a old man 5 pounds.
So this comes sagen, das Take from the miracles. That's Take from the miracles, and the Torah discusses it. Right? But how come don't? So the Rebbe says that the emphasis of Gemara Mefureshes that there's certain things that just like that Chayis is the Oigmal Chaboshin, a little child is exactly the same. The Rebbe says because there was a big kedusha in the Mon. The emphasis Mon had 2 dargis in it. The Rebbe says this Chayis Kloli and Chayis Proti, just like a person. A person can't be half alive. If he's alive or dead, he can't be half alive. But then there is a Chayis Proti. There is how much energy is going in. The brain takes an incredible amount of energy. We're going to some kids museum, whatever they were saying over there, how the brain maybe doesn't even weigh 20 pounds, and it takes how much energy it takes from the brain is water. It takes whatever. It's like a sponge. Yeah, it takes
1 kilo 300 grams.
Right. It's not a lot, and it takes incredible amount.
1.3 kilo.
Yeah. Not a lot. And it takes so much energy from the body. So some avodim take more, some avodim take less. So the chai is called the chai is proti. In the connection of the neshama and the guf, there's two things. There is the chayes loli, which is the general kishur of the neshama and the guf, and this is what the Gemara is saying, that oig malach vashon child is the same thing. That there's a certain amount that he's halishing, and then yes, v'daita. We said for this, oig malach vashon child is equal, and then there is chayes proti, which no, oig malach. In the mon, there was both things in the mon, but the ikir in the mon, because of the kedusha of the mon, the ikir over there was the highest quality. So, and therefore, the Torah usually calls it an oimer. Oimer, we don't even know what an oimer is. It's like one nekuda. It's like one nekuda. Then the Torah says, by the way, there was a shear to it. It's a sidus eif, a mem gimel beitza, a chemish beitza. Because both things were in the mon, but the ikir was what was felt in the mon. That's why a child and a father ate the same amount. Because just like we're saying, a child. Here we're talking about a different thing. There, it's kiddush. It's like mom because the kiddush in the mon. So it's more. It was more about the Indian. It was more about the highest clothing, not so much the highest protein. It's more about the kesher than the shama and the guf, and not so much as a negushim, the more ruchnius. So therefore, the father and the son, the 3-year-old and the 80-year-old, and the father and the mother, all of this because if we're talking about the kisher and the shama guf through lechem and hashamayim. The Rebbe says a more ridiculous lesson of Avodas Hashem. Such a beautiful lesson.
You need a little bit in order to.
A fakerte lesson. Hear this. You have to hear the Rebbe's lesson. The Rebbe says, when it comes to Nigla the Torah, if someone just asked if he's first grade or eighth grade, right? So it depends. If you're learning Gemara, you're learning Chassidus. Truth is you could see such a thing. So a person, Allah is about Tshuva, some sitake. When it comes to about Tshuva, you see it very strong. And if you come to Gemara, so it's if you didn't learn, so sometimes it's very hard to the way, there's a sing song in the Gemara, what's a kasha, what's a teretz, I guess you would say, so machlokes Rashi and Toysus, they see Sean, I'm like, it's like, so someone understands more, some less. It's not, you can't overwhelm someone with, so you have to give him what he could eat, but when it comes to Chassidus, the Rebbe says, even a person, a little child, and you see it b'muchish, you see sometimes
the concept you could get
because because Yom of Amunas Hashem, Achdus Hashem. Sometimes you see takazoi that when it comes to, if you have to prepare a shir and you're going to Chabad house and it's very hard. Right. But if you have to talk about Achdus Hashem, Hashgacha Pratis, you have to talk Shariach V'Emunah, even to get us a tshuva. So even a beginner, which doesn't have that much background, and someone who's a massive Talmid Chacham, you could give a shir and they're both gonna, because so that's what the Rebbe says. And when it came to Lechem Min Hashamayim, this was the same shear for every single yid. Lechem Nashmayim was the same shear. Okay, look right at the Gemara. Kol ha'oichlin amre papa. All the oichlim had started one with the other. Why? Amre papa. Sorry, not why. What's the din? Amre papa. Ochel umutza milcha. It started. Person ate meat, and the meat and the top of the meat is a little bit of salt. The salt is mitzaref to the krisevis, even though salt itself it's what salt? How much salt is he eating? So he ate a mashu less than a kesevis, and a few grains of salt was mashed to shir kesevis.
No, but salt is nothing. You
Salt.
can eat salt.
Right, but because today it's on top of the piece of meat, it's mitzdaref. Afgam the lav ochli, given the achli inchi with the meat mitzdarefing. Amar ishlokish tzir shal gabe yerek mitzdaref kesevis b'yom kippurim. Shita, mother, tema mashku. The liquid that's the top of the yerek is mitzdaref. If the yerek is almost a kesevis, but a mashu less, and together with the liquid, it would become a kesevis. So we say no, that's a kesevis.
Internal liquid, it's wet.
Outside, even on the outside, we learned it in the beginning of the summer, and I'm so happy to finish off. We learned in the summer a lot of the shiurim and Hifz Basanan, and finally we learned a lot of the Gemaras that were negated to this din. So ma the tema mashuk, mashuk kolach shuri oichlo oichlo. Amri shlokish. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Amal the tema mashku, and therefore mashka and oichlo are not mitzdarif. Because the different shurim that you see that mashka is every person has his own shir, and it's a dova posha oichlo mashka is not mitzdarif. So l'chayra, why are they mitzdarif? The answer is kolach shuri oichlo oichlo. Because now it's considered oichlo. Amri shlokish oichlo chilul gasa. A person eats a chilul gasa. Potter my time I should like to want to Lamazik. He's not. Yeah, he's a mazik. He's mazik. Amar Rebbe Yirmi, Amar Shlokish Tor, Shachal Trum, Achil Gas, Shalom Masakerim, and Shalom Masachomish. Doesn't because Chomish you only on the Hanoah. He live Kiochel Prat Lamazik. Amar Rebbe Yirmi, Amar Rebbe Yirmi. So Shekois Soirim Shalom Shalom Masakerim, and Shalom Masachomish. Weiter, the same thing over here. Ki Yochel Prat Lamazik. Amar Rebbe Shizvi, Amar Rebbe Yirmi.
Eating it not there.
Right. So there was It eats. Rashi says, "Hold over sheichel shloi derech hachalos al nikra koises."
It gobbles it down.
It's a losh. Even it doesn't matter how, because it's not derech hachalos.
Like grain, right? Nobody take a grain and eat it.
Oh, right.
But you take it and grind it,
Yeah.
and flour and eat bread.
Right.
You can eat it. You could eat it, but people don't eat it.
Right. We learned, if you remember, in Vechsanen 3-4 years ago,
Which bracha you make?
that right, and we said over the Vaychitin, you make Vayre Priyadama, because the derech of people is to eat chitim, but it's not the derech to eat siyorim. So a person who's kois siyorim shaltrum and mishalom skekim shaltrum is kiyoichel prat lamazik. Amar Shizu, Amar B'Yechon, Azor Shabola Shizvin shaltrum. The person took shizvin. Rashi says prunes balad. Yeah, prunes. Shizif. Ani lo medaber Ivrit, as ani omer prunes. Prunes. It's a prunes. It's chaza shizif.
If you have a constipation,
right, exactly.
It's just wanted about
plums. Right.
Bone juice. Right.
It's the best. Huh?
It's the best.
It's the best, right?
Bone juice. You drink one cup, you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
This sounds better.
Zorsha Bola Shizvin Shaltruma Vikian. He took the prunes, he swallowed them, and then he vomited. And the second person went and ate it.
You vomit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Risha Mishalam Kenem Chamish, because he had Anoah. Why do you have Anoah? Because no, the first guy, no God, because some people eat like slobs, and he ate quickly, and some people do it, and it's derech hanos and derech hachilosim. People do eat plums that way, prunes that way. However, the second sheni eina mishalim al admei eitzim l'rishim balvad. Rashi says the second guy shari hikun arishim neskayba tushlomein vehein eina meruim oid ela la'soka. Really, these prunes they're not roy lachil anymore. It's ichsa. So what could you do?
Burn it.
You could burn it. I mean, today we throw it in the garbage. But in the olden days, when they tried to make uses, okay, so put it in the fire. So you can put it in the fireplace. You have to. And a winter night, you need whatever you can put in the fireplace. So whatever. That's the derech of those people were. Today we fill up garbage cans, and there's a whole push of trying to compost to try to recycle. But then was push it. Anything that was flammable that you could put in the fire, so therefore it has the value of the me'etzim. This mission is Rabbi Shua that says you can't be mitzarev achila b'shtiyah. Rabbi Shua called it Tomasa b'shuri shava mitzarev. Tomasa v'lashuri shura v'letomasa v'letomasa v'lashura ein mitzarev. What does this mean, Rashi? Tomasa b'shuri shava. Going shnei chatzoi zeisim mishnei meis or shnei nevelos or shnei achatzoi adoshim mishnei shrotzim. Shizman tomasa on shava. How long the tumah is the same thing. The shur and shava, the tama b'shir echad. So a mace, tumas mace,
half a
mace, they match up very well. Or a half a sheretz, they match up very well. But if it's tumas v'lo shuri, you can go and sheretz in the veil. Sheshneim tumas erif, the taka, they're both only a tumas erif. Avalein shurim shava. The tama shezeh because I is sheretz. and the veil is bekazayis, and sheditz is bekadosha. So they don't match up. Or if you shoot a veloy to mosque, mason the veil, shishneim bekazayis, but zeh to mashima, zeh to masedif. So if they don't match up, you can't be mitzad of them. You can't make a common denominator if the tumah or the sheet is not the same. Rav Nachman, so Rav Nachman zok afilu tim rabbanon. I can't like amare rabbanon hasal ni tumah. The same tumah chadu. Rabbanon hold tumahs match up because there's a common denominator between two tumas. That's tumah. Al hocha mishum yesu v'daite hu v'hai loy meis v'daite. The guy in Yom Kippur, it's a Yishuv Adas, and Achil v'shti, they don't match up. It's like this is Oig Malach Bashan a child is the same thing as Kesevas. Water, that they do different things. Water helps you in a different way than food. You can't. They don't add up together. There's no common denominator between
More
them.
important water than food.
Like more important. Well, it doesn't add up. They don't. Okay, nobody shlokish machlokish shnuya. Rishoy, the Danya Klalam Rishoy. No, I feel that about Akal. It's a very important halacha. It's like a person who has to eat less than a shear. It could be makel that he doesn't have to wait, intervals between to say, 10 minutes kalishka from pala, 10 minutes of kalishka from water, 10 minutes challah, 10 minutes water, that he could do simultaneously. That's the.
This is shiur.
Let's try to learn Apsah Shnel, Apsah Siman Shulchan Aruch over here, because I was hoping we could do something. Siman Tofresh Yud Beis.
These things.
Yeah, it's in this ones. Yeah, Tofresh Yud Beis.
Oh, that's Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. So Hilchos Yom Kippur.
Oh,
Tofresh Yud Beis.
it's only the
The emphasis this siman is not so super negeya because it's only negeya nebuch to a person that needs to eat less than this year. But last year,
will take minutes.
I'll take my hand. So it's negeya a little bit. The ikir is as we said that we're going to do the last pedic of the Sefas Yoma. Elamai last year after Yom Kippur Sevotzach Nishlarnim. So this year we covered another two daf, another siman. I'm keeping a list in my house. So, as Hashem, over a few years, it's not like Hilchos Yom Kippur.
We'll get to the shiur.
It's not like the halachas are going to change when Mashiach is going to come. I mean, maybe a few shiurim. Gemara says that if Allah says you have to write up in kosa, the amounts, and maybe things are going to change a little. But
The day the Mashiach will come,
all
we're not gonna press Yom Kippur.
maybe that one day, like when Shlomo Melech built the base of Mikdash that year. But after that, we are going to fast. So Mamela, it's not chas v'sholem that it's not like Hilchos Tishov could say you don't plan to learn it after Mashiach comes. It's not going to exist. Hilchos Yom Kippur is fakert. It's going to exist. So let's learn Tofrei Shud Beis. At least we did this one summer for the year. And again, nemesis. This year we learned Siman. In Shulchan Aruch and in the Bechzan, and we learned all about shiurim. The whole summer we learned. So you know what? It goes a hand in a glove. Achila Ketzad Oichal B'Yom Kippurim Shir Kshurav T'Siyashav Alav Daite. Achilu Zu Chayt Kodesh. A person that eats the certain amounts that as soon as you eat, you calm your mind. That's the Chiyuv Kodesh. Shenema Kol HaNefesh Shaloi Tu'una. Then V'Nichlas HaNefesh. Oichal Kishir. That's it. It's a little less than a kabetza. We paskin like the second opinion in the Gemara that it's a little less than a kabetza. Shava cholodem bein lananos bein loig malachabosha. Every person is going to get a little bit calmed down. ושהכל מסשס וזדייתם הרבה. כל אוכל מצטרפים זה מזה לאשכם שיר. אבל אוכל משכם, שאוכל חצי שיר ושעושה חצי שיר, הם מצטרפים. ושאין דייתם מסשבס בתחת. אבל אוכל ירק עם הציר שלו, לכן בוסם המלך שלו, הציר והמלך מצטרפים להשלם כשיר. לפי שכל משקה הבוא להכשיר את האוכל, הרי הוא כאוכל. So, למשל, what's not negay? It's takanachs on negay for me and you, because when it is negay in Hilchos Bechsanan, in the summer we learned Hilchos Bechsanan that if you ate a kazais and you soup it, but if it was like a vegetable, together with the juice that was on top of it, for sure it was kazai.
Yeah.
So from
It's mitzvah.
from here we learn that's mitzvah. Ataka we learn of Yom Kippur. You see that the whole Torah is like everything's connected. Yeah, sometimes.
In Shlom Bayit Shir, it says when you after they walk, don't come home hungry. Stop by coffee, then come home. Because you come here hungry, it's dangerous.
That's good.
Well, but the mashu just again, it's you're not severe. You're gonna eat supper now, but it's like to calm you down. To what is it called?
Miyashav died.
Miyashav died.
Miyashav died.
It's interesting.
Shtei chilas mitzdarfis. Wenn ich achal maat behipsik. Because of achal maat at shishlam al shir mitzdarf. Musha lo shah mishir mit chilas achilas shayna. Sefer chilachrin yoyis mach chilas pras. Avalim shasa yoyis mach chilas pras. Sure, I'm sorry. Yoyis mach chilas pras. Ein mitzdarfen. Lafish ein daita mis yesheves bachilas mufsekes kazu. Has to be that he ate within the time of achilas pras. Shir achilas pras. Shomer beim akiv. Achala yisuri toilim. Nee, shame in a toilet bench with the sefer. Yesh, some big shame Rashi nam. Yesh shame that a kicker is the alad beit. So the yesh shame a kicker is 8, so half is 4. The yesh shame that it's 6, which half is 3. Gimel. Beitzim shchukis. Klama berevach, yeah, b'mila v'lo b'tzim. So la halacha kol shu b'shal toira, halacha ha'amachar, kol shu b'div. Shal devreim halacha ha'meikel. Anyway, we that's the machlokes rishonim, and then the achronim are machlok. As I said, yeah, exactly. So oichel b'yom kippur. So we spoke about it a lot in the summer. Therefore, legabe when you're doing a mitzvah, legabe when you're making a bracha, you should try to eat your matzah less than 3 minutes. Eat your kazayis in less than 3 minutes. And maybe for the Bavitch Chassidim, go to Tzedek, I said 6-7 minutes, whatever. So whatever. 6-7 minutes, but at least that. Eat up your matzah, or even Shabbos. You have to eat a rare shit is hold it. You have to eat at least like a beitza. So, or even just eat kazais, but make sure you eat it up. Eat it up within 6 minutes. But lagabe Yom Kippur, when we tell a person that Nebuch has to eat on Yom Kippur, we're telling him to do in the bigger intervals. So. Whatever I tell people 10 minutes or whatever. Some Rabbanim will say we'll say more than 11 minutes because there's one sheet of 11 minutes. Okay, weiter. Choichel b'yom kippurim, achila gasa. Begon shlachar shochel harbe. Erev yom kippurim, ochel miyad b'yom kippurim, etchilas alayla, k'shadayin sova, u'molim, achilas. Erev yom kippurim, beinen neklam, achilas gasa zu, b'mazekes l'gufa, l'fikach u'potem ekoras. Shenama shaloi tu'una, rat l'mazik ufa b'achila, zu shum u'una. It's mazik is not. Mamed v'ramamur shachal machal she'enim ruim el mishura avalim achal machoyelim ruim afal mishur sova. To eat things that even a person who's full would enjoy it. Kigoyim macholim amutubalim umuvusamim, very sweet or very tart. Sheyesh b'hem ano laguf af l'sava. Chayv shachal malasoyim.
A good dessert in America.
I'll take it like a good dessert with a lot of sugar. The rav chel b'sumish kiyach. ושלא יאכל הרבה כל כך בערב כיפורים, עד שיוקץ בכל מיני מזון. אם הוא קוץ במזון, אף על פי שאוכל מייכל מבוסם, פוטו. ואין דבר זה, because that's mazikim, even if it's sweet. אין דבר זה טולו, מה שמרגיש. בנפשים יש לנוע באכיל הגס הזו. נוס אכיל ושתייה, סורי במקבור אף בשאין אוכל ושעסק, כגון שטועים לחייך ופוילת. Even if it's just toilet. Again, this is very negay. Look at it. Broche, if you remember, we spoke about it a lot. Schmeckt noch talking a second. Will da general nachher gehen Atze besammen weiß, muss also litem to the lach la corona beliflet. Mas kost be sim tof kof samach sein. Aber mutter lo dirich begon in rech. A lot of smell. Why? The fish rech udov shein הגוף נהנה ממנו כלל. אין אלא הנשמה בלבד נהנה ממנו. לפיכך לנס בימי כיפורים. ואדרבה, טוב להריח כדי למעלס מן ימי ברוכס.
We have over 10 bottles of different you should buy fresh
This time to buy fresh ones.
Well, you
can still make a bracha, but
what's this orbits of water to the last time?
Yeah. I should ask him if she can deliver new ones. I'll call Oichel Shen Room, like I said, I'm Bishop for Harvey, Otto Menakoris. I'm not going to say Marcus Mardus. Still, they should give him Marcus Mardus. Och Ali Konim, that's worse than Oichel Shen Room. That's mamish like eating wood. You eat Ali Konim, like sticks that are growing, like bamboos.
Not sugar bamboo.
And not sugar
Okay.
bamboo. 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 Schach. Fische eine Meichelod, aber Lolle gefunden. Liebelebu koide Breische Shona Potter, Page Galmai. Liebelebu Achre Shona. Adai Memrakim, Biema Kippurim, Brim Lachelsan, Fikr
Little soften.
Huh?
Little soften.
No, Liebelebu, they blossom. If they blossom before Rosh Hashanah, by now there must be a piece of wood. Like they blossom after Rosh Hashanah, they're soft. So they're still Roy Lachelsan. Auch a pilpulum yevation is eigentlich ja Potter, Shen Roim Lachila. Ach long chamber tubim. Shazem room lachila. Fire. So this summer, finally, I was able to bring all here pilpul in the tubim for anyone that I think we still have it in the kitchen. Pilpul in the tubim. I show you some I can put kamalai lugma of chayim. Sharim malai lugma of shalash shoysa atzma lafi kolad lafi mashu godel lafi godel lakot lafi kod. Every person, not like by food, we say Ugmal Chabashan and Yelet Cotton is the same. By drink, we say it's Malay Lugma of every person. Malay Lugma Mamish. Alakol Shilam Salkot Sadak and Fib Yirok Malay Lugma. Pachas Meravias Haluk Ba'adam Bain means a little less than Revias Haluk. I still don't know why, understand why in the Lagabe Hilchis Pesach, in Lagabe Bechsan Nenin, in Lagabe Hilchis Shabbos. Alter Rebbe says that by average person, Maloy Lugmav is Roiv Revis. Maloy Lugmav is Roiv Revis. We spoke about it in the summer. So Revis, Kona Varam Chaim Noah, is a tad over 3 ounces. So we say that besides Pesach, where whatever, maybe Pesach you should have the whole kois or Roiv kois or whole Revis or whatever. But regular Kiddush, you have to, in order to be Yotze Kiddush V'Avdallah, so you have to do Malay Lugmav. Malay Lugmav is Rev Reviz. Rev Reviz is an ounce and a half, a little more than an ounce and a half. You'd say to Lagabe Havdalah, you should try to drink the whole Reviz. Why? Because otherwise, how are you going to make Bar You're stuck. Between a kazayis by wine, between a kazayis and Reviz, you're always stuck. So, okay. But it's interesting. Drink more, drink 3 ounces and you're good. But it's funny that over here, I still don't have a teretz. The only thing I'm thinking is, I don't know. I'm just pointing out that over there he says, Roiv Revis. Roiv Revis sounds a little more than half. I mean, he says, Pachas Revis a little. I don't know. All liquids add up to each other.
I think by Yom Kippur, if you drink less shiur, but you drink by Kiddush, if you drink less than the shiur, you made Kiddush, you Yotze, but the drinking part you did not Yotze.
Yeah, Yotze may be Kiddush. You didn't drink. It's a mitzvah
Kippur,
to drink from Kosher Bracha.
Right, but by Yom Kippur, even if you did less, I don't know.
Yeah.
He
says
that like we did nothing. It's like you eat melon.
He says, over there he said by Ba'adam Beinani, it's Rev Reviz. Why is he saying a different Lashon? Pachas Reviz sounds like a little less than a Reviz. A tad less than 3 ounces. And the Rev Reviz sounds, I don't know. But Lamaisa. Kola Mashkim Mitzar from Zem Zel Hashno Kamalai.
There's 3 measurements. Reviz, Pachas Reviz,
and Rev Reviz. Sad bothers me. I don't know. Shine. Bottom line is that Lagabe Kiddush and Lagabe Avdola, Lagabe to have the schus of considered that I drank kosher bracha, for average person has to be Roiv Reviz. And in order to make a bracha achrona,
at least
you have to release the Reviz. So much come Shen Rem Shtika and Sira Murius Pirish, Sir Shaldogim, with them Sky Pirish and Mazak Remain. Chozak Okachim, Slith Oisa La Orisi Babeya, Alvisha Shosa Harbim and Potter in Akoris. Maknas Makas Mardas, Shosa Chemetz Mazak Remain. Illa Shosak, Malay Lugma Chai, because it's a good drink. Shtis Masaf is Zuka and Shos Mat, Hifsik Mat, Chos of Shos Mat, Ben Shtem Yesh Malay Lugma Chai. Med, Varim Amurim, Shloisha, Illa Shtir, Shana Sef Shtir, Chrona Yes Machdei Shtis, Revius Halug, Avlim Shah, Yos Machdei Shtis Revius, Emet Starfen. That the shear of the tziruf lagabe malay lugmov is a devis. So, how long does it take for an average person to drink 3 ounces of liquid? 60 seconds. A minute, 1 minute. That's it. The Yeshemrim no shaloylam hem etztarfen. Elam kain shemet chil shtir yishayin atzef shtir achrina yosem achdei chilas pras. Moi betziruf shtir achilas. Second opinion is very machmir. Second opinion says that shtia is just like achila, that the shir tziruf is achilas bras. So if you hold it's 9 minutes, so a person that's nebach sick and Yom Kippur, the doctor says they should drink, or that how much such on sukkah, and they could eat, they drink l'shurim, they should wait in between 9 minutes. So according to the first opinion, you should wait in between. The doctor says to drink, but it's not critical. So, but if he's not going to eat and drink for 24 hours, it's a sakana. So, first shitta says he should drink and wait 1 minute between each drink. It's not that hard to wait a minute between each drink. And the second opinion says you have to wait 9 minutes between each drink. It's like it's a big difference. We spoke about it in the summer. About the kechidush from the Alter Rebbe's brother that he heard the fetish immediately. That it's not true, that the lochas read like the Rambam, and that I've made a mistake in the Rambam, and the Rambam really is gerech, and you could be makel and say that that the shir, the Alter Rebbe's Moedik Chidush was, is there's a stira. In one place there's a Tesefta Gemara. Tesefta says the shir of the tzirif is a revis, which is 1 minute. The Gemara says. We just learned the Gemara, that it's the shir is kedechilas pras. So the Alter Rebbe's chiddush was that the Rambam is right. It depends what it is. If the shir of this thing is less than a revius, the shir tziruf is a revius. The shir of it is a revius, then the shir tziruf is kedechilas pras. Because l'gabi Yom Kippur, what's the shir of drinking? Is less than a revius, because most people, the Malay Lugmav is a revius. So the Shir Tziruf is so it comes out a big kula l'gabi Yom Kippur. Kol Ashurim Alolashin is Ma'aru B'Simazeh. Anyway, hopefully no one over here should ever need that big kula. It is a big kula. Basically, it's a kula for someone that's never sick and needs to take medication, or you led this or whatever. Right. So not you led this within 7 days, you led this within 7 doesn't. But Lamazog after the 7.
People who suffer from sugar, they must take certain pills.
Yeah.
Every couple hours.
So then the interval
Not a couple hours.
Twice a day,
Twice a day, but not a couple hours.
Right.
Okay, twice a day, so that means you have to drink. You can't just take it.
26 hours without eating.
Kol shiurin Allah, yeah. So for those people, it makes a difference. These two shiurim. Kol shiurin Allah, shesbarat zimzav sheir achel ben sheir shtir. I mean, like echatas. Gam lonu yesh nafkamin elin chayla sheish betzakona, as we'll say later, as I just explained. Alin yis, I feel ochel kol shiur v'shasa kol shiur harei also isu shal toir. Came chen de mechol sonu shabatoir shnem rim shiurim afilu b'mashu yesh isu shal toir.
Comets, 1 drop, you can.
Even 1 mashu, it is a isu min ha-toir.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we moved forward a little bit and Hilchas Yom Kippurim.
And more in the daf also today. But if I sell you a piece of land, it's shtut, achot mishtut, shtut plus.
Which Gemara is the daf now?
Uvor.
Uva where?
Babasa.
Basra.
So difficult. What I said, what I made,
What?
a little bit less, a little more.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, forget
It's
it.
included, not included.
Nobody's free.
Okay, David Shalom and Tzuma Shal Yom. It's a beautiful day. Tzuma Shem. Tomorrow night we're learning Tanya, right?
It's a shuva, I know.
Yes, I'm sure very important. What can be better?
Look how we can now.
Mishrat med the chant.
What about on Friday morning, you put down for
They're
7
mitzvah
o'clock.
eat, but no mitzvah eat, but we get-
Okay, 7.
only the day.
Friday,
Looks like it's a day.
7.
We'll say
Last
Lagabe the
year-
Chol, Lagabe the Chol, there's a mitzvah also the night
And
before.
last year, Friday put down, Friday morning put down 7. Last year, we had this whole Hebrew that came like 8, 9, 10.
I don't care. What time do you think it should be?
It's a busy day.
Davening?
It's a busy day.
7 o'clock?
Busy
7?
day.
Okay.
Busy day.
We're not boching.
What?
We're not boching.
It has nothing to do with it. They actually need the bathroom to help bring my son down.
7 o'clock. The truth is, anyone that's getting up for kapodas, by 7 o'clock, you can't hop any kapodas around.
is already after kapodas.
6:30.
They're open now in the end of J.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They
East
can't walk
29, East 29 and J.
Yeah,
Boston will have it.
Yeah, they
yeah,
can't walk
they're
down.
there.
They're
They're
there
there.
in the morning. Yeah,
Okay,
5 o'clock in the
Yeah,
Baruch
they
morning.
can't walk. The Knox-Erman not gonna walk their way down to the.
So tomorrow we have a big early tomorrow. So
I know Miss Ola say that. I know Vino Malkini.
No, not clear enough.
okay.
No.
I think they might be.
Yol Shkach for the
Check
books.
the little call for
I'm
Bob.
still
Still backwards. When he printed it, he forgot to put an extra page to offset.
Yeah.
right.
Check the little call.
Not only that, you put the rush in the right side. And
Check
that's
the
what
cook-
the-
check
no, because it ended because
He printed it, but he forgot to put a page in, at least a page.
Check the little call for Bob.
יש לבש, קייך, יש
Printed it,
קייך.
it's not with the printer.
On my computer.
No, the printer, I gave